You pissed off a lot of MAGA cucks with your video rant the other day. What's up, fam of liberty, and also everyone else watching this video who isn't following our channel for some inexplicable, unknowable reason? It's your new best friend, Big Sarge, or the artist formerly known as Admin Tim. I'm the founder of the Sons of Liberty, and almost every single day I put out a rant video, or Admin Doug puts out a video. So if you saw us out in the streets at a protest for the first time, and or you're new to this channel, I know what you might be thinking, so let me go ahead and get this out of the way. Fuck Donald Trump. Fuck neo-Nazi Elon Musk. Fuck GOP politicians. Fuck the wealth hoarders that have their fucking boot on the neck of just about every American citizen. Anybody seen JD Vance lately? This channel and its comment sections are not a safe space for bootlicking simps for a convicted felon, adjudicated rapist, a Wish.com fascist oligarch, a failed insurrectionist, a wannabe authoritarian tyrant, or a sugar daddy, the world's biggest supervillain man-child from South Africa that nobody fucking elected. Now you know where I stand on things. So, if you're still here and you're not frantically rage typing into my comments box like a triggered snowflake who's ass mad at the world because your boy won the election but everyone else still hates him, then maybe consider following this channel after you watch this video and decide whether or not you like the cut of my jib. Today's video is primarily for the white folks. We're going to talk more about unlawful checkpoints and attempts to detain people by ICE. But before I get into that, we're going to talk about why you should care about undocumented immigrants who may have entered the country illegally. I'm going to skip the slippery slope conjecture and the Martin Niemöller poem that you guys like to ask me to read out loud, which maybe I'll do that one day. First of all, until legislation passes making it a felony, it's currently at best a misdemeanor to be in the country illegally. You know what else is misdemeanor? Having a blunt in your possession, or in certain states, traffic violations. You know what's a far more serious crime? Sedition, treason, espionage, storming the U.S. Capitol, assaulting police officers, attempting to murder politicians. And let's not forget that this is a country that was founded on and has a long history of accepting immigrants coming to this country. Speaking of history, let's not forget that this country did really dumb, really horrific shit like discriminate against non-white people, denying them rights despite the fact that we wrote a whole document saying that all men are created equal and that everyone has the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And I don't even need to mention the violation of civil and human rights, the lack of legal standing within the criminal justice system, etc., etc. Many of the people coming across the United States southern border are fleeing awful conditions in their native country. 9 times out of 10, the United States is responsible for developing or fostering the conditions in those countries because we had to go be the global police, or we had to go into countries and try to big dick them to stop the spread of communism or socialism, which resulted in the U.S. propping up tyrants. And now those birds have come home to roost. So this is a problem that we created. And not to put too fine a point on it, but immigrants contribute far more to this country and its economy than wealth hoarders. Also, it's fucking Donald Trump and his pack of bottom barrel racists. You should oppose that shit on general fucking principle. Now, let's pivot and start talking about white privilege, being a Karen, and white knighting. Only we're going to talk about these things in a positive light. Disclaimer, I'm not a lawyer, and this does not constitute legal advice from a legal professional. If you are a white person living in this country, especially if you were born here, you need to speak the fuck up. You absolutely should turn into the biggest Karen if you see ICE agents, aka Border Patrol. The most important acts of resistance are the small ones, death by 1,000 cuts. Make it difficult and uncomfortable for ICE agents to do their job. They're counting on citizens to turn a blind eye and allow them to arrest and deport undocumented citizens without challenge. Your job as a resistor and conscientious person is to disabuse them of that notion. Outside of having one of those convenient little red cards on you, the first thing that you want to do is make sure of your location. Border Patrol can verify citizenship within 100 miles of a border or an external boundary. This includes coastlines, so like New York City, Philadelphia, Los Angeles, the whole ass state of New Jersey, for example. It also includes international airports. Border Patrol can only ask brief questions about citizenship, and they cannot hold you for an extended time without cause. Driving whilst brown is not a cause. And you always have the right to remain silent. You don't need to answer their questions. If you're on public transportation like a train or a bus and ICE or CBP agents board, you need to stand the fuck up immediately, start recording, and loudly let everyone know that they have the right to remain silent or only answer questions in the presence of an attorney regardless of your or their citizenship or immigration status. There's an ACLU app that automatically starts streaming and uploading video. Find the number to a reputable immigration attorney and put it in your phone so that you can put them on speakerphone. There are countless examples, both on viral video and anecdotal testimony, that confronting the agents this way has usually caused them to leave without verifying citizenship. They will almost always back down eventually, and that's because an educated citizenry will almost always refuse to succumb to fascism. Even if you're not on a bus or a train, if you see someone being held up by immigration, loudly ask if they're being detained and if they're free to go. Immigration officers cannot detain someone without reasonable suspicion, and an agent must have specific acts about you that make it reasonable to believe that you are committing or have committed a violation of immigration law or federal law. You being brown-skinned or looking foreign doesn't constitute a goddamn thing except that motherfucker being racist. If an agent detains you or someone that you know or someone that you just happen to see, ask them for their basis of reasonable suspicion and make them tell you. Don't back down. They know it's bullshit, because if it wasn't bullshit, there'd be a lot less examples of ICE agents leaving defeated and humiliated. You should always say no to a search and let everyone else around you know that they can and should refuse to a search as well. Again, they cannot search or arrest anyone without a lawful warrant with that person's name on it, and that warrant has been signed by a judge. A judge, not a lawyer or some other sworn official. Those warrants that they're displaying are not actual warrants, and they don't have any names, and they aren't signed by a judge. Again, they cannot search or arrest anyone without facts about that person which make it probable that they're committing or have committed a violation of immigration law or federal law. Silence alone does not meet either standard, nor does race or ethnicity. There's no legal standing for either probable cause or reasonable suspicion. And if they say something like, "We got a report that someone who looks like this person being detained is a suspect," then demand to see the warrant, demand to see the photo. Why am I targeting white people with this? Because carrying around a red card isn't going to cut it. A lot of people are not prepared for the fact that the struggle for civil rights often involves an uncomfortable level of confrontation. Some motherfuckers don't even like using the phone or making eye contact on the street. How are you going to resist? You should be aware that even as a U.S. citizen, you can still end up being detained by ICE. It's happened as recently as this past week. If you aren't carrying any type of identification that means you're a legal resident or your proof of citizenship, they can still fuck with you. During the first Trump administration, some U.S. citizens who didn't have proof of citizenship on them and couldn't advocate for themselves were actually deported from the country, including minors who happened to be not with their parents at the time of encountering ICE. And these people were usually able to return to America in the cases that I found, but it took some time. And in all the cases that I found of U.S. citizens being detained or deported during Trump's first administration, they were either Hispanic, Black, or Asian. None were non-Hispanic white from what I found. So, fellow white citizens, we have a level of privilege which protects us from retaliation from ICE for being rude and making a scene, which makes it our duty to speak up and make sure that people without that same privilege know their rights. When injustice becomes law, resistance becomes duty. Get loud, yell. If you speak Spanish, yell it out in Spanish. Let people know that they don't have to say a goddamn thing. You can say something like, "Chinga la migra, no habla con ellos." I want you to find these red cards that have been going around. We posted links to them. They come in many different languages. Familiarize yourself with the words. Pull up Google Translate and turn on the speaker option, and then listen to the words being said in Spanish. Practice them yourselves, and when your moment comes, as it probably will, make ICE so uncomfortable that you have a nice video of their retreating backsides, because it's perfectly legal to record immigration agents as long as you are not on government property or at a point of entry. If you're on public transit and it gets boarded, pull out your phone, start recording immediately. Have someone else record as well. Call that attorney. Make sure that you get the agent's name, badge number, and any other identifying information like the name of their supervisor and the office they work out of. And yes, I have watched some of those sovereign citizen videos and I laugh all the times. This ain't it, Chief. Those dudes are usually breaking motor vehicle safety laws, and it's almost always during a traffic stop. Anyway, this is way different. We don't enable authoritarianism here. Make fascists afraid again, because the resistance starts with us. Want to know how you can get involved in the Sons of Liberty resistance movement? For many, many months, we've been organizing local Sons of Liberty chapters by region and at the state level. Don't ask me in the comments section or send me an email asking if we have a chapter in such and such state or such and such region. Get on Discord. I have a whole ass video on a subject called Operation Security, or OPSEC, and if it's a foreign concept to you, then I suggest that you watch it. It's essentially the concept of denying information that will aid and abet your opposition in a way that hinders your own operation or activity. I promote the Sons of Liberty Discord server in almost every single video that I do, because that way conservative social media tech broligarchs like Mark Zuckerberg can't deplatform us. They can't touch us on Discord, and they can't mute or censor our content. On our Discord server, however, our staff does moderate our content. For example, we don't allow community disruptions, we don't allow sea lining or trolling, we don't allow Fed posting and deranged, fringe, lunatic, blue anon conspiracy gibberish. We don't allow violent or graphic content. If it's against Discord's terms of service, we will not let someone tear apart the community that you built on our Discord server or jeopardize our ability to continue organizing and resisting. Discord is not just a chat platform or a platform for gamers. We also have region sections with helpful resources for those regions. In those spaces, you can organize with local fam of liberty and get resources and information on how to better resist. You can learn about practical things such as self-defense courses, firearms instructors who are local to you and who are left-leaning. You can learn about home defense and security, participate in firearms discussions with subject matter experts. You can learn about growing your own food in victory gardens and then canning and jarring and preserving food. You can figure out your shit hits the fan contingency plans, build bug out bags and first aid kits. You can link up with other Fam of Liberty members who can help you or assist you with, say, moving to safety if you need to be safe. And like I mentioned, we do have off-topic places for you to post your art, your cosplay, your written word content, your own socials. There's a DD-214 blanket fort for veterans, and there are just like general bullshitting around frequencies. You can get updates from our social media, which does make our Discord ping heavy, thanks to the webhooks that we use to integrate our various social media operations. And you can disable those in the channel appropriately named ping roll. If you're having trouble with Discord, I have this whole ass YouTube tutorial about the Sons of Liberty Discord server. So if you need assistance getting on the server, start with that video. The invite link to our Discord is in the Throatpunch at the end of this video and all of our other videos. That invite link is also in the YouTube video description and in the YouTube and TikTok channel descriptions. If you like the shirts or the hoodie that I wear in my videos, some of them, but not all of them, are available in the Sons of Liberty merch store. I'm still under interdiction from Etsy, and the merch store is at risk for being taken down for content violations, but until that day comes, I add content all the time, usually based on your requests in my comment sections. The merch store is listed in the link tree in our YouTube and TikTok channel descriptions, and it's also in the YouTube video description. Go on and get you something nice. If you like our video content, we have a whole social media presence elsewhere on like 13 different platforms, so we'd appreciate it if you'd follow us on all of our other socials, whichever ones that you've got. The various socials that we have are listed in the Throatpunch at the end of our videos and in the link tree, which can be found on the channel description. On YouTube and TikTok, we'd also appreciate it if you would subscribe, like, and get notifications on our channel. It's a little bit of a different process on TikTok, but if you're on TikTok, you already knew that. Anyway, fuck that platform for shadow banning us. You can help us extend our reach by sharing our video content on all of your socials. Go find the relevant Sons of Liberty account on that platform and share the content that we post there, including the video, which we've probably already have linked up there. You can help us beat the algorithm by leaving us at least 7 words in the comments sections. Why 7 words? Go watch one of my other videos. I don't feel like explaining why. 2 claps and a rick. Chinga la Migra has a nice ring to it. Check the merch store. Woo! And now it's time for the Throatpunch!